go.
Got it.
There we go. And hopefully you can hear me.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Evening, everyone. If I do break, Robin, can you take over?
Yeah, I've got the agenda in front of me.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much how I roll. So yeah, evening, everyone. Thanks for coming along to tonight's community planning night. Basic purpose of this meeting is really for us to just take a little bit of time to see how we think it's going, what projects are going on in the wider community, share good news, share suggestions, float any concerns. It's not a place to make decisions. It's just sometimes this is a more appropriate medium to discuss things. Anyone who's watching this after the fact is always encouraged to propose and discuss and suggest ideas in the community development channel. That is how we do stuff. But yeah, thank you everyone for popping along tonight. We normally kick off with training. What's been going on? What's been going on, Robin?
Some training. I had a foundation course with some students, and not a lot. That's a question I want to ask tonight anyway. The intermediate is due to start next week, after. 43 students on that one, and the full is slowly building up. The intermediate and full are a runaway success with us. The question is, to everybody really, and trainers in particular, do we continue offering the foundation or just run a foundation for a group by request, given that there's other groups, there are other providers out there who do as good a job or better, I don't know, as we do, but they have a good advertising campaign that attracts all the foundation people. It's a question we need to think about. It's not as if it's a waste of resource, because if somebody comes through and does the foundation, invariably with us they'll stay and probably do all three, and if they do foundation somewhere else, they might not do the rest. So it's just something that's we need to think about for the future. But having said that,
Yeah,
we have plans up to 2026 to provide the foundation, but we can easily kill them.
we had a trainer kind of meeting, and we've decided that the trainers are going to meet every other month opposite to the community night.
You're frozen.
I'm
yes,
lagging again. Yeah. Yeah, so the aspiration is, it would be nice, but it needs to add value, basically. There needs to be a value, and there is certainly a possibility for us to do it and add value, but it's a lot. It seems like it's a lot of effort, and it's more about, we came onto a more generic issue that's probably worth throwing into this group, which was one of the biggest issues for our foundation is we don't have much of a presence outside of Discord, and that is because we run on a people put your hands up to do what you fancy doing, and no one fancies doing the admin basis. And that lack of consistent presence outside of Discord means that we don't, yeah. Absolutely. So there was more of a kind of a question that came over from the training group is, what do people think about us not having a consistent presence? And is there any ideas or suggestions of how we can manage that without, since we don't have people who are responsible for it, nor is one likely to put the hand up, or if they do, they're not likely to do it for more than a month or two. It's a thankless job that very few people actually read or look up on or follow up on. I don't know. What do people think?
I think the foundation still needs to be here for the fact of going through the 3 levels. I think Robin's idea of maybe doing it by request, not necessarily a request, but maybe we do it on a less frequent basis, to alleviate, the issue of, value for what we're doing with it, if you know what I mean. And if, so for example, it doesn't reach a certain threshold, then it gets delayed somehow. is a possibly mechanism we could use. I think getting out there is certainly something. I wouldn't say I would be doing it all because I've already got so many hats in the ring with doing other things, but I can help here and there with a little bit, especially because I think what we could do is if we use the membership service login for the RSGB, we could put all the courses in the events page. So when someone searches for events, it would come up in theory on the website automatically. So that way, if they're searching through the RSGB, in theory, it should pop up. The only problem is it is relevant local to where you are. So I don't know how it would work for us because obviously technically we're registered region 13, but we're technically UK wide.
Put one in every region.
I mean, we could, but also
Unfortunately-
we'd have to pay.
Well, there's that, but also it's the issue is the way the what's the word, membership service login works. It's relevant to where you are registered, and we only obviously have one of them because we're only affiliated as one club.
Yeah, so it doesn't really work for us, but
Well, it might do in the fact that it's still there in the events page, because if someone still goes, I want this events, then the RSGB know about them because they will search through their events calendar, if you know what I mean.
right.
So I think it's still worth doing it in the sense of getting on it.
Right. Well, I was completely unaware of that until tonight, but it's something we could possibly follow up on. The last foundation course was struggling for customers, so at a timely manner, I think it was Samantha from the RSGB put a post out on probably Facebook or an email, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just put together a little thing saying OARC is doing this, that, and the other. And to be fair, it went out on their social media, went out on Twitter, and it went out on Facebook. And it was also published in GB2RS. So a short email got results. But the problem is, our problem is that we don't have somebody that sits at the desk saying, oh, look, that's that date, and I must send that email to say that. And it's an onerous admin task that I can understand people don't want to take on. And if you do take on, it's very tiring. It's a bit like training. Training is very tiring. But if it's what you enjoy doing, the guys that are doing it are happy doing it. So we need an admin team or something like that. A group of 2 or 3 which are keen just to hit these slots. If anybody wants to step up and say, yeah, I'll do that. It's sort of a permanent thing. It's not something you do for a fortnight. So
It's certainly something I can help with because I do already a lot of that sort of thing already for other things in the radio sense.
Well said, Nathan.
Because I already run I run one of the regional Facebook pages for a start for the RSGB. So
yeah.
I'm already halfway there, and I've already advertised the OARC on both Region 1 and Region 2. So
appeal to the wider audience. If anybody would like to give Nathan a hand with that little bit of tasking, that would be most welcome.
I think there is a project somewhere where we can. I honestly believe that we can get some basics in place that will make it a very painless thing. It just needs someone to do. For example, if there were notes, I was going to take notes tonight, but I then come off Zoom. But if someone was to take notes today, it could be as crass as dump the notes into a ChatGPT and get it to write a small summary to send to the RSGB. And we do that after every other meeting.
It could hopeless at reading my handwriting.
Yeah, but that kind of thing where we can have a routine that is very low effort, but it's consistent. But I think that is, I think what Robin said, it needs to be an open invite. I would, because it's very important, although I'm massively stretched, I would be happy to sit down with you and maybe 1 or 2 of the people who are watching this afterwards and just come up with a rough plan. I know at the end of the day, I'd have to hand it over to you, Nathan.
But once the written stuff is there, for me, that's the hardest bit. Once the written stuff is there, me emailing people and posting at places isn't an issue because I like annoying people into submission to make them post it somewhere.
It would be awesome if we can just, I mean, we could even be as simple as having a channel where every month someone tags everyone and says, look, we're about to generate the article for AdCom, bullet point what good stuff you've done this last month. But I don't know whether people do. We tried doing that between the community reps, didn't we?
Yeah, and it didn't really work out.
It didn't really work. But maybe as a broader.
Yeah,
I
think I think for the first one, which would be a really good thing, would be to write an article about the for freaking hell sakes, the TNC project.
Yeah, the TNC group buy. That's
because I know Radcom are looking for part 1, part 2, part 3 articles. So if you write part 1, then we've got a couple of articles and we can carry on with, if you know what I mean.
Okay, well, maybe, I mean, what I could do is I can arrange for you to have access to support@oarc.uk, the email address that we have that no one replies to because we don't do email, but I can arrange that. I could certainly arrange that, and we could potentially, between me and you, try out this concept of we'll generate a shed ton of bullet points based on the meeting we had yesterday. I've actually done some notes from the meeting yesterday, and see if we can generate some print for Radcom. I'd love it if the bot could do it, just because I think they'll re-edit it anyway.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I told you I was going to cool.
It's by and large, it's just building a template that you can load from other known information. You know, just build a template, just put the data in on a regular basis.
But I know, reading from recent Radcoms, they've done like especially like on antenna builds and things like that, they've done a part 1, part 2, part 3. So I think it's certainly, because of how big the project is with the TNC, I think it lends itself to, here's a part 1, this is what the group did, this is what we started, this is what we're looking at doing. Part 2, this is what we actually tried and implemented, tested, and then part 3, we've got this.
Well, there was a comment Tom made yesterday that it's not quite ready, or I think it was Tom, one of the guys made yesterday, that we're not quite ready to go public of get everyone in. But part 1 could be the group buy, the experience, the building up a wiki and the knowledge. And then the part 2 article in maybe 6 months' time is when packet.oarc.uk is a bit more matured, and it might start dragging people in at a time when we've got an idea what we're doing.
Yeah,
rather than just.
So I think the first article would be the sprinkle of interest. Ooh, maybe come and have a look at this, but we're not ready quite yet. Just have a look. And then the second one's come and actually try this. Come on, guys, you can come and do this. Then the third is like, way success.
And once we've got that mechanism for contacting Radcom and putting articles out on Facebook and such, we then have a mechanism for the trainers to throw. And the beyond. One of the big things, Robin and I met with Steve and Pete from Bath Distance Learning and Essex Ham.
Yeah.
And they were very keen to see the promotion of the Brickworks scheme, which is basically, if you don't know, it's a kind of an induction, a structured induction into the various aspects of amateur radio. And it covers everything from working satellites, building your own equipment, taking part in club events, everything you can think of, and it kind of rewards you as you progress. And they were big proponents of it, but they were finding it wasn't delivered anywhere. But we kind of are. Well, we're certified to deliver it.
We've identified a gap in that the foundation isn't really a foundation in radio, because it leaves people not knowing what they need to get started. Since the practicals have disappeared, and by and large, local clubs have put their shutters up. Not all of them, but quite a lot have. People haven't got an entry route where they can go and ask the stupid question one-to-one. And we have a motto here that there's no such thing as a silly question, so it works. But there is a gap, and the perception that we have, and I think Peter and Steve have as well, is that the foundation isn't really a foundation. It's a highfalutin exam to do something with radio, but it doesn't equip you, doesn't give you the tools to actually go to the shop and buy it, because you can't go to the shop anymore. It's all online. You can't go to the local shop and say, I'm interested in radio and I've taken my foundation. What do I need? Oh, well, sir, I can sell you this, that, and the other. We don't have that. We don't have the local advice.
Unless you're in North Yorkshire or somewhere near London.
Yeah. The local shops, we have a local shop, we're lucky. Or
Yeah.
you're in touch with a club or somebody else who's gone through that pain barrier.
Yeah.
And there's a gap there, and we want to address that gap. And I myself would like the RSGB to address that gap. Ideally, head in the clouds thing is get rid of foundation, make it an absolute dead basics one, and then the intermediate and full, or direct to full. Yeah, I'm going to shut up now.
No. I think you've got a valid point, and I think, to be honest, don't get me wrong, they did promotional videos for the brickworks, but they were never in the aspect of giving people an understanding of what they're doing. And I think, when they did that, they did a small series about soldering and things like that. And I think they maybe could do something around that, but instead of about radios and more explaining that side of things, because
I think
that would help somebody.
I think a big issue is that there is a lot of information out there, to the point where there is too much information out there, and they need to focus event, and that's what clubs, brick and mortar stores, as the traditional kind of stuff did. But we're pulling together an open letter within ourselves, Essex Ham and Bath Distance Learning, to basically say there's a gap between the foundation and people getting on the air, and it needs some structure. Here's some suggestions. But that was just another thing that's running alongside as well. Whilst my connection is good, because I keep stuttering, can I just
You're not too bad.
Your audio's still absolutely fine.
Yeah, I keep muting myself when you guys turn into robots, so you don't get any artifacts. and me sharing this screen is probably going to stutter everything to death. Is that visible?
Yeah,
it is.
Okay, it's declared. We've got £2,584.65 in the bank, and we have just spent £143.88 on Zoom, so we're paid up for another year. Our only outgoings are for the rest of this year will be £56 for the RSGB in July, and the server costs, which are currently £15 a month, for both the server being used for the packet network and all our web hosting, cloud log hosting, bot hosting, everything else. So we're still looking at 150 times 12, 170, 340. We're living in a world of our annual running cost being about 450. So we can run for
6 years.
6 years. We could lean ourselves easily, but we can run for 6 years comfortably, without running out of money, which is a good place to
Definitely.
Something else we need to think about. It's now over a year since COVID disappeared, and festivals and exhibitions are taking place. We need to really think about getting ourselves out there in the public. So if anybody would like to organise a table at their local rally and tell us what they need, I think we could spend some money on some literature and banners and things.
I think there's been a problem with the security on the room for some reason. It stopped people being able to unmute themselves, but that should have fixed it. Torren's reconnecting, and Torren is the one who spotted it. So hopefully Torren can make noises in a minute. Or if anyone who's muted can unmute.
There you go. Oh no, maybe not. He's tried to. No, they can't unmute.
No, security.
Why don't you give me the host then? Because
yeah,
that might help.
Yeah.
Oh, I can now.
Yeah, it's fixed now. Whatever that was, fixed it.
Yeah. Why is she?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Awesome.
5 and 9.
Yeah. You know what makes no sense though? I've just checked the thing that says that you can't unmute yourself anymore. So, so it's lying to me. Fair enough. Did anyone have any comments to make whilst we were talking and ran away that they couldn't make because they couldn't unmute?
Deathly silence.
Good times. Yeah. So does someone who's not me want to talk about, or maybe not Robin, maybe Vic or Simon or anyone that wants to talk about what's been going on? I still can't unmute. So, allow participants. Robin, you should be able to see the security bar at the bottom.
Oh,
I can unmute.
where are we?
Yeah, we can unmute now.
It
I
is
think
possible.
Working for me.
I'll ask you to unmute. Yeah, Vic, you unmuted yourself during this time, didn't you?
Yeah. So
Let me just restrict it.
According to the security, you can all unmute yourselves.
There you go. I've changed the settings whilst you've been active, Torrin. Maybe that'll help. I'll ask you to unmute as well.
Torrin.
Maybe it's his computer.
Yeah, it's weird. It's according to the permission. You know what? Make co-host. If a co-host can't unmute the screen.
There's something wrong somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So does someone want to talk about what happened with the packet network of what's been going on in that world? Vic,
do it a quick summary.
Simon?
We had,
Go on,
there was a call last night, which I can't remember who, but it was really well attended. And it was a bit of a mixture of just a catch up, and it ended up being a bit of a restatement, didn't it, of what we were trying to do. And I think we got the best aim that we'd ever had, which I think Tom's captured. And we sort of talked through what it was we wanted to do. And I think there was some good points came out of it, I think, around communication. So how do those people who are kind of the lead climbers feed some of that stuff back? And as you know, we're trying to use the wiki as our kind of center, our body of knowledge, the place we kind of capture our learning. And I think, as ever, it's that balance, isn't it, between it being fun and people experimenting, but not everybody having to document everything. So we talk through a little bit of that balance. And just really, it was nice to kind of come back together. I think we ran for about 1 hour and 20 in the end, didn't we? And just talk through successes, failures, how the kit had gone. I think it was an opportunity for all of us to thank Tom as well for all the work he'd put in. And I think we agreed we're going to do one in April, another catch-up call. I think you've already done it, haven't you, Francis? We've restructured one of the channels to be a bit more of a thread-based piece, so people can kind of do those things that take their fancy but not pollute the channel. And I think we're going to see how that runs. So yeah, I think it was a good consolidation of what we've done and a chance to reset a few things. Did I miss anything there? Anybody else who was on the call?
No, I think you got it all.
But it's going
Yeah.
well. I think that the amount of activity it's generated has been superb. And it's brought people in, and it's been a real success, I think.
Yeah.
Could
absolutely.
anybody remember when it was we were going to do it? It was the gap between the intermediate and the full. Was it the 5th of April?
It was. I was going to sort it out when I'm back down south again, but it was the first Wednesday.
I
it
think
was
the gap was
Wednesday
the two after, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It'll be the 5th of April. I'll put something on the calendar tonight.
Just check it doesn't run with the training meeting, because that's what we've got on the same month we have the packet. We'll have trainer and packet. So at the moment, the meeting rotation, we're having meetings. It's not good. So the meeting rotation will be 1 month will be a community night, and then the next month will be the packet and the trainers meeting.
Yeah.
As always, the trainers meeting is not a meeting for trainers. It's a meeting for anyone who wants to be involved in training, find out what's going on, and trainers. And the same with packet, to be honest.
Yeah.
If you want to come and play, come and play.
Nothing to stop you playing at any time. If you find a TNC in a jumbo sale and an old radio and you want to give it a shot, just ask to join.
And I think that's a thing we need to be conscious of, right? We've always got people joining and making sure they kind of don't think it's like a boys' club that you can kind of jump in and learn. I think we've got to make sure we
think
keep
it's right
ourselves
that it's separate channels, and I know you can always mute a channel, but But the trouble is, once you've muted a channel and you've muted it until you're going to unmute it, you forget you've muted it, and so you miss out everything on that channel until you chance across it again. So it's probably right that we have like a subgroup that's looking at packages now while it's on its nascent. Once we get sorted out and we understand what we're doing and where we're going, generally I think to open that up to all comers, but we need to remind people that we're there and that's what we're doing on occasion.
You know, we've kind of written the content for Nathan, because we'll have the community night 1 month, and then we'll have training, and we'll have like the special interests night the following month. And as long as the people who are involved in there, as long as someone takes some notes or types up some notes, then we've got something that we can just dump into some form to put on Facebook or send out to Brascom. So we're probably doing it just naturally.
Yeah.
And if we're smart, we can combine the posting date for Radcom and the Facebook and the website all at the same time.
Yeah, so it could just be a one-time. They have the meetings week 1, week 2, it gets dumped into whatever. I honestly think ChatGPT will be capable enough. I honestly do.
Until they put a paywall up.
Well, even then I'll probably pay, to be honest. I think.
Yeah,
Go on,
conferences.
No,
I was just gonna ramble about the Irish call sign. So I think the last meeting we said something about setting one up, and it happened. So now we have call sign in Ireland as EI2 OARC. We do have QRZ page. We do have a logbook of the world set up. We do have there's some QSL cards in making. So we may use some of the credit we have for the QSL cards just to send them out.
Have you found a good image for the QSL card? Or are you still?
I have a lot of private images from the trips around that we can just reuse.
That sounds very, very, very ominous.
So
it sounds like
I will rephrase it. I have a lot of images with the copyrights that belong to me.
I will break my exception for QSL cards for one from the club sign, Vic.
1 tent, a load of Guinness, and a rig.
I hope he's clothed. That's all I'm going to say.
That is not that can be done. That can be done. We can do actually that. So so that's what's been happening. We have a 20 contacts or something, and we did take a part in the Winterfield Day with East Leinster Amateur Radio Club, kind of joint party. I was trying to log it, and I was trying to convert the address to Cabrillo, and it just broke me yesterday, so I have another go today.
it was voted through the usual process, proposed channel process on the 10th of December, but it's worth saying that was one of our spends in the last month, because to register a club calls, to register as a club in Ireland and go register the call sign, it's €100, which equated to 86 quid, I think, give or take. But that's for life, I believe. But we are an entity. We're an officially recognised entity in both the UK's eyes and the Irish. Well, I can't remember what the equivalent.
UK eyes.
Yeah, the UK eyes and whatever the Irish body is called.
Christian and
IRTS.
IRTS.
Well, it's more Comrec really, because they administer the call sign. So it's more of the Comrec, yeah. So there we are. That's what's happening across the water.
Run out of paper for me notes.
lots of little bits. Is there someone had mentioned there was a potential aspiration to meet. Well, there are two things that I can think of. Someone had mentioned a potential meetup in Blackpool for the Blackpool Rally, which I believe happens in March.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to get to that because of just timing, but I'll definitely be keen to attend some of the rallies with people. I'm very lucky. I've finally got travel pass, so I can scoot around the country very cheaply. So if there are meets up around places, I'm very happy to pop down.
Does that
Um,
include Scotland?
Yeah, 34 quid return to Edinburgh.
Oh,
It's-
mint. Okay, there's one later. There's one later in May then, because there's the Braehead rally up in May. So
Braehead,
I
that's
got it.
Glasgow, isn't
That
it?
is.
you what?
Oh, it's also
Braehead, Glasgow.
Yeah, Glasgow. Yeah, it's one of the main shopping centres, so you have plenty of stuff to do there while you're there.
That is. Do they have beds? Sleep.
There is
sleep in the shopping.
legitimately there is hotels like not very far from the shopping centre at all.
Yeah, the travel lodge. I've stopped in there, I think.
Yeah, I think it's literally like a 5-minute walk from the centre.
Okay, maybe.
there's another thing I kind of thought of. I'm gonna put Simon in the spotlight now. I know it's very early in the year, but we should. Oh, there's Torrin. Hello, Torrin. We should.
I can speak now.
Oh damn! Hang on,
I
let me
should
just
probably
mute him.
mention.
No, that's me.
The work all OARC. Is that happening this year, Simon?
Oh,
Commitment.
I mean,
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'd like it. I'd like it to happen. If someone wants to pick it up and run it, I'll happily help them. But failing that, I'm definitely going to try and do it again and build on what we did last year. I think what I do want to do, and I think I'm probably going to do it in March, is just do a little review of where we were at, and just bear in mind what we did at Christmas as well. Try and shape it. So I may stick a little Google form out and just get some views. And because I think we'll do it slightly differently. I want it to sort of follow on from last year, in that I want people to do different things than they did last year. So I've got to find a way to do it so it's about kind of us all growing and doing new things. Packet will be the obvious one, and also Vic can't win. So I think we might have a rule which is if you won a trophy last year, you can't win it this year. So even if you were doing really well, you've got to do something new. But again, I'll probably stick something out in March, which is sort of what I did last year. I kind of did a little bit of prep March time and set it up, because I still think the summer's probably the best time to do it. But yeah, the intent to do it. And I'm also going to try and get that logging tool sorted, Vic. So we've got a place to capture it all. I need to do a bit of work on that, but that's,
and the logging.
Nathan knows it needs a bit of work. But
I am
we
chief tester and way of breaking it.
Oh, yes, you are. So hopefully we'll have a tool as well that'll do some of the statistics and stuff like that, but also let people see how they're progressing.
Yeah, that I can help with. That tool is something I can help with.
You can see articles for every month. I'm going back to Radcom again. You can see articles for every month for Radcom coming up next month.
Yeah, we've got loads of activity, haven't we? We've got loads of things going on.
It's just getting it into a form that Radcom would be happy with, and also maybe having, like, I don't know, some sort of photographic pictures of some description that would match what we're kind of writing up, really.
Yeah, we've always got plenty of stuff we can use and stuff we can do stuff with. People are always dropping things all over the place. So we've got work to all OARC. We've got lots of rallies, and more likely that people are going to be scooting over to them. Oh, there was something else. What else? There's something else going on.
Guys. I just wanted to pop by and say hello.
It's good to see you again, Christian.
Nice to see you.
No worries.
See ya.
See you, Christian.
There was something else. There's something else that was on the tip of my tongue, and I can't for the life of me think what it is. The pub's going on as always. The social nights are still happening.
Yep. There's one due on Saturday.
Yeah, which is always a good thing. We closed down the SIP network.
Yes.
Which made a lot of sense. We had a SIP network, which I think was more of it had regular nets during COVID and during lockdown. I think it was more a fun experiment whilst we were stuck in our houses rather than anything we really needed. So it came with an associated cost to run, and it just made no sense. I think Matt had said at one stage, he was on the call, but he's disappeared. I think he said at one stage it was like there hadn't been a call made on it for 4 months or something stupid. So why keep funding it? I'm missing something. I feel like I'm missing something else. We had the events over Christmas.
Yeah.
Rich did a lot of work. But I think that got wrapped up within the last call. Got wrapped up in time in its own call.
And
Yeah, we
also,
did a little
so
retro, didn't we, in January about that?
Yeah.
we did have this open position of the kind of I think we kind of talked about it for the person that would like to take over the branding, different, pictures and websites and, and stuff like that. So if anybody out there is watching now and has very advanced skills in paint or something like this,
Trevor
please put your
said he was
hands
going to
up.
have a look at the website, but I don't know if he's done any work on it.
Yeah, it's not so much the website. It's oh God, someone did raise a hand and I've completely failed to go back to them. So I need to work out who that was very quickly and go back to them. If you're watching this, it's completely my fault. And thank you for prompting me, Vic. But yeah, we need, especially for, and it'll probably come out of me and Nathan and whoever talking, we need some like consistent branding. Nothing massively elaborate, but just like a really simple little, here's a folder, here's where the logo is, here's where the logo on a banner form is, here's a font and style.
Here's your sign off for your email. It always makes respect to people, doesn't it?
It's just that stuff.
Yeah, the other thing that's sort of slowed down is the Thursday night presentations. Trev,
talks.
Can't remember his call sign. One of the trainers has said that he's done a couple of presentations for his club and he would do one for us. So I've said, make it so, Trev, and he's got some work to do, but I'm sure he'll do something on a Thursday night. Thank you, Trevor.
They're always really well attended, but they need these having talks is the admin again.
Yeah,
someone has to go and organize them. Someone has to bring them together. I've got no doubt if we organize them, they'd be very well attended, because every time we have organized one, they have been. But Tad Nino recently obviously gave the presentation about the Nino TNC, and that was off the back of someone having an interest in packaging. But I think it was pretty well attended. And
subsequently watched.
Yeah, and it went on for hours because the group wanted it to go on for hours.
But I think that's why they're well attended, because we're doing them organically around something current or interesting. I think if you kind of scheduled them, you might struggle. You kind of want that, everyone wants to come and do whatever it was.
Yeah. But that said, if you're watching this and you have given a talk, please do just go in the community development channel at the community representatives, or just message any of us in Red, and we'll just get it. Our day job in the community is basically to help you organize this. So if you've got a talk that you've given and you're happy to do it for us, just say, and we'll get it done around your schedule.
And enough of us have done one as well. If you're worried about doing it online and stuff, we can help you with that as well. Work the material and things like that. OBS setups.
OBS.
Between Robin and I, we can help you sort your OBS out.
There's one more about the kind of activity leads as well, and I think we said in the past somewhere that like if you have an idea, we will try to help you to get that idea. You own the idea, you run this, but we'll help you to just with some of the bits, around the community, how to get it off the ground a little bit. But you have to own the idea and you have to run the activity yourself. Really, we're just there to facilitate that. So if you're
chances are, that's the thing.
We
don't. Within many brick and mortar clubs, one of the oldest things that you have is a group of people sat around moaning because the committee isn't doing what they want them to do. And the answer here is tough. If you want to do it, you lead it and we'll get on with it. However, although that sounds quite blunt and harsh, the reality is if you've got an idea that you're quite interested in going with, you'll probably find, the community representatives are there to support you and help you do it. But you'll also probably find that half of the 10 or 20 people from the community will suddenly appear and be very eager to help you deliver it. So although you do have to own your ideas, ultimately you can't expect other people to deliver your wants.
Let
It's
people know your plans, and they will join you.
Yeah, absolutely. There's lots going on. There's lots going on either which way. Anything else kicking about, really? Anything else we need to air?
When our next so just for people that don't read websites, when our next school starts, Robin?
Oh, the intermediate is a week yesterday, on the 8th of February.
Yeah.
And that runs through till the 29th of April, and the 29th of February. No, sorry, 29th of March, and the full is due to start on the 19th of April, but that will have a 4-week lead in with the weekly quizzes to help you revise the intermediate, so you get up to speed before it.
So halfway through March is the time to join, if you're
And
interested
the
in watching.
Foundation, I haven't got on the calendar yet, but the next foundation would follow the end of that.
July, I believe, isn't it?
Something around the end of June.
Yeah, yeah. I knew
Just
I
in time.
had the beginning of July in my head.
Just in time to get yourself a present radio for Christmas.
Oh, you know, let's get a radio for your summer holidays, that one.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Get a radio because it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
I know it's
Tuesday radio day.
Also, we did review the feedback from our full course. So we posted a survey at the back of the full training. We reviewed this, and we actually implemented some changes into our training now to address some of the points that were raised in the survey. So if you're watching and you gave the feedback, thank you for your feedback.
Yeah, we'll
That
put
was
another
another
week on
thing.
it.
Yeah. But the bingo stays.
Yeah, but the bingo stage, yeah.
I was going to raise at this meeting. We have so the foundation of the IRC is that any major decision or anything that needs sign off of finance gets signed off by the community. Community representatives can hold liabilities on behalf of the organisation, but they can't decide. All they can decide to do is surrender the liabilities. They can't decide how we do things with them. And other than that, we work on a collaborative basis. A person wants to do something for the betterment of the community. If the community agrees, off you go. That was like the structure when we first started. Now we're a couple of years in, and we're substantially bigger, and we're having some aches and pains that come from the model that we're operating with. Is this the right model still? I said I would throw open the question.
You're asking the wrong person here.
I would say the model still works mostly. The problem is, I think, and because I know what situation you're talking about, I think there needs to be, not necessarily loopholes would be the wrong word, but there needs to be some agreed terms on certain things that need to be treated differently, relevant to what we would normally do.
We use a lot of the community reps use a lot of try and apply. So they're the community reps. We've tried to recruit a diverse group, which means that we're always going to have a group that disagrees within each other, and probably can. I know that between us we sometimes have heated discussions, but that's kind of indicative of the fact that we've probably got a good diverse group, because we have strong views. That to me is a good thing. And I think quite often, like recently, we've had a few situations where we're not moderators, but because everyone's equal and we're here to facilitate, but we have to use our judgment and our best intention. But that isn't necessarily written down, but it probably doesn't need to be written down. It's probably okay as it is. But I don't know. Stuff's quite loose. I think it's working. I just wanted to throw it up there. I guess my question is, if you're not involved in the community representative side of things, as an organization, how does it feel?
It's a good question.
Does it work? So forget us and we signed up for drama. Simon, go on.
As an activity lead, i.e. not a community rep, but someone who does stuff, I think you guys give us a great service that lets people like Vic and I go and do things. So from my point of view, as someone who's a bit of a doer, I like to do things and bring people with me. I think you guys give us the framework we need, because we need something, right? But it's not like a committee. You're not feeling like you've got to pitch an idea to you guys. If Vic and I want to go do something daft, we can do it. I wouldn't want to lose that. I wouldn't want, because I always think you should have just a little bit too little process. I wouldn't want to stifle anybody's stupid idea with a committee or a structure. So for me, I think it works really well. I think for you guys, I don't want you to find it painful or difficult, but I think there's inevitably, as you said, there's always going to be some tension and some issues. So I like it, but for what I want out of this community, it works really well for me.
Yeah. Out of interest, Hads, if you don't mind me picking on you, I don't know if you can hear me. You've been loitering with us for a short while. What's your experience been, if you don't mind me asking?
Were you asking me?
Yeah, if you've got, if you don't mind me picking on you.
No, y'all are into a lot of stuff. It's a huge organization. My focus is kind of narrow, so it's kind of hard for me to. And also, I don't exactly know people that are in this meeting versus all the things y'all do. I mean, it sounds like you're running classes for new hams and
we do the national training.
You've got people distributed over the whole country. It's really hard. It's hard for me to grasp. The reason I'm auditing this meeting is just to find out, because it seems like you have an organization I've never seen it the like of anywhere. And well, it's not really that surprising, because I really haven't been auditing people's online meetings anywhere really. The only ones I've ever audited were always specific to my focus.
I guess from the short time you've been with us, Tad, what do you see?
Does it work? Does it work for your interests? That's the whole thing. What we want to make sure is that the structure is letting people enjoy the community and it isn't putting any blockers in their way.
Well, it's kind of funny for me, because I'm actually getting entertainment from the vastness of the structure. In other words, it's not your goals aren't things that I've been I've encountered or been affected by. I'm more interested in how you're doing it. At least, fair enough. I mean, sooner or later I might plug in somewhere. I don't know. It's unlikely that I will be, but because I'm not in the country. But it's
we're open to a franchise model, Tad.
Yeah, go for it.
If someone wants to take this with it, you can.
We've already franchised out. We've already gone to Ireland and franchised out. There is nothing stating we can't do the same thing in America and just keep going.
The one thing that I could, at the last meeting I was in, which was yesterday, the one thing that would be kind of neat is if I could scrape or add an element that is common, and that's not unlikely. I mean, we were just one of the things that fell out of a meeting that with all that we were talking about a month ago was the whole idea of coming up with ways to make it easier for people to make TNC cables. And that wasn't anybody's goal. It just was like, well, wait a minute, we should have something that makes it easier. And I'm working with Jason K4 APR to try to make a little widget that just makes it easier to test or wire up new 6-pin mini DIN cables. But no, it's just anytime a whole bunch of hams get together to talk about actually being productive and spreading the words, it's fun to watch. But like I said, it's the fact that you're so huge and so organized and so determined is just wonderful. It doesn't matter what your mission is, it's cool to watch.
That is, thank you. No, that's cool. I mean, I think that was my instinct. It's just so easy to get stuck in the admin of the world that you can't, what's the word, you can't see the forest for the trees. Is that the right saying?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The trees.
It's always good to reflect, right? It's always good to stop, take a bit of stock and ask those questions. I think it's a good thing to do.
The thing about the CR rule, it can be onerous, and one of the most onerous things is keeping abreast of everything that's happening on Discord, because you see every channel. So it's our duty to pop into every channel and see how it's going. And there's an awful lot happening. But from the time that I've been a CR, which is probably about a year and a bit now, I'm not sure, the difficult decisions I've had to make are less than the fingers on one hand.
Yeah.
You know?
It's always come down to,
and those things will happen, and other members of the community need to know that we're there to protect them as much as our reputation. And it's sometimes we'll have it, like as Francis says, we've had heated discussions over one or two things that have happened. One probably wasn't very heated, but the other ones certainly were, or could have got that way. So it's a tightrope that we'll walk, and if anybody wants to join us, hey, welcome to the fun.
yeah.
All I would literally say is keep the structure as it is. I wouldn't change that for anything in the world. I would only literally maybe add a wording somewhere with, with the constitution of the community reps, saying that we can take reasonable action, if you know what I mean, to protect other users within the Discord.
The way that the constitution was intentionally left very loose. One of the concepts that I kept saying. So for those who don't know, the constitution of the OARC was written by its members using Google Drive, where we literally just opened up a document. And so I can't remember. Did you get some, Nathan? Was it originally? Someone got a rough thing.
I copied my constitution in from Sterling Club because it was like 5 pages long and like A3 sized.
And then we ripped
it
to
shreds. Yeah,
we
pretty
ripped
much.
it to shreds. And essentially, a community representative is a named member who is tasked with acting on and enforcing decisions made by community consensus to uphold the terms of the constitution and represent formally the club to third parties as required. So we're not a committee; we're just here to facilitate.
No, but as I'd say to that paragraph, add a comment saying the community reps have.
Well, I think it's I think it's covered by acting and enforcing, and then further on it says that if any member of the community feels a decision isn't fair, it can be put to a community-wide vote. It's always overridable by the community. It's the aspiration was basically that. I can't remember. Yeah, the aspiration was that we were as light-handed as possible.
Yeah. No.
No, I think it does.
I think the way you've worded it now and kind of explained it in a different way probably makes it sound that's fair enough. That's fine. I was just making sure that that the community understand that we don't make these decisions lightly when we have to make these decisions in certain aspects. We've only had to do it a couple of times, and you're totally right.
Paul was just mentioning so not everyone sticks around, but the Discord server's just hit 1,600 people who have completed the registration process. We're literally a few people off 1,600. We've delivered training at foundation, intermediate, and full level. We've completed 9 intermediate courses, 5 full courses,
and 5 foundation courses.
Obviously, and just to show off, Tad, we won an award from our national body last year for our training. So just to show off.
I'm not as quite as on this meeting as I might be, because I'm actually at work and I have
no.
deadline 6 o'clock. That's 2 hours.
Go on, I'll stop harassing you. It's all right.
Okay.
There we go.
I multitask a little, and what I'm doing is actually, frankly, very boring. I'm writing a document with some code.
I'll start giving you excuses. Oh yeah, Paul was right. It was with 10 courses because we did an intermediate 0, so we had 25 people to try it. Okay,
that's 20 courses of run, and if the average attendance, include the foundation, was 30 per course, 600 people, and if half of them took an exam, that's 300 licensees.
Yeah, and comment in chat. Someone's hoping to join us on the intermediate soon as well. It's starting week on Wednesday, so please come along. Cool. Are we about a good place to call it, or do we have? There we go. We had a comment about Brickworks. Brickworks is, I think we mentioned it at the start, but there was a comment. Brickworks is going very strong. Many new people have registered. Steve 20INH has been very proactive in giving the paperwork a a good clean over and getting people involved.
He's
Going
also
to the
put a top 20 on the wiki.
Oh, awesome. That's good.
Yeah, and I
guess in-
notice also the wiki is getting, I don't know if you run any stats on the wiki and the updates and stuff like that, but it's, I noticed there's loads of stuff going on there, especially with the packet. If you type packet in the search box now, you're gonna get probably 10, 15 results.
Yeah. Yeah, it is getting busy.
I'll channel my inner Mark. We probably do need to do a bit of wiki maintenance as well. We might have another wiki night on the pub, because I think it's one of those things that we just need to kind of make sure we keep it up to date as well.
Well, the packet element will all be taken care of within.
Yeah.
Maybe we ring fence that. So if there's an active project using the wiki, then people can raise a concern.
Yeah, it's more
But
it's the older
outside
stuff
that-
that's been there a while, just making sure it's still
Relevant.
get rid of the dead links, that kind of stuff.
Speaking of pub, though, I have a 3D printing challenge for Simon and Vic on Saturday.
Oh no.
I'm in need of something.
Well, that's good because I've got one more
Oh.
TNC case to do, and then I'm clear. So yeah, I'll get that done tomorrow.
Fair enough. I think we're good. There's lots of things going on. So unless anyone's got anything else, we can wrap up.
Yeah. Do you want to share the server stats or not bother this time?
Oh yeah, good point. Sorry, I haven't looked at them.
Robin has a little sticky, you know.
No, I'm not sharing the right thing. Hang on a
It's
second.
tattooed on his hand.
Share screen. Advanced? No, basic. Share screen. Screen is screen. Good. Right. Right click. OARC. Server settings. Where is it? Can anyone see it? Community Insights. Server Insights. Switch to monthly since Christmas. Let's go back as far as it lets us, so we can see what the last.
Since November.
It's because you got it on It's because you got it on monthly. Oh, it's the max you can do is monthly. Okay.
Yes, we've got one more person compared to yesterday. So how many people are joining? So it's a healthy rate. You can see when Robin's, I think that was the effect of your promoting the full. So membership continues to increase healthily over time. More important is the engagement. This doesn't make sense when you do it over the day. Let's do it on the monthly. So we have 1,600 people. 517 people have, within the last month, visited the server and read messages or engaged in the voice channel. So read 3. They've been onto 3 channels and spent enough time that it ticks over. So active visitors. In the last month, 15,139 messages have been sent. On average, the blue line represents how much of the community is engaging, and the orange line is the average for Discord. So above average engagement. Christmas was not too shockingly busier for messages than now, but
it's weird. The engagement visitors was down in December.
yeah,
yeah, the other bits still around.
People, this isn't real. This is like how many people were drawing into the Discord platform. So a lot of people who are joining have already met Discord users, apparently. I don't think that makes sense. I think people are signing up and coming over.
I think it depends on the route of entry, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it does. So audience share, majority are UK based, which isn't too shocking, and interesting split. Most
Actually,
people who've
14% non-UK is quite a high percentage.
That's gone up.
UK.
That's definitely gone up. It used to be in single digits.
Yeah, it used to be 5. It was 5 when we were looking at last time. Then we've got device usage. So it looks like most people are being dragged on to putting it on the phone if they haven't already. how long have they been a member? How long have people been a member of the server? Well, we've had over half of the people here have been on the server for at least a year, which is good. And yeah, we seem to be bringing people in who have not really used Discord or don't use it regularly. So it's something to be aware of when we communicate, Nathan.
Yeah,
which is on an ongoing thing. Yeah, and I think that's it. So healthy. I think 520 odd visitors in a monthly period is a healthy state.
Definitely, without a doubt.
It's I mean, it's not like we have any comparison.
No.
My local club gets 12. So
I was going to say we get about 86 visitors a time. So
yeah. So I'll take 500 odd.
Yeah, I think that very much wraps up a fairly successful community, and it's working. So let's
keep going.
Carry on and keep the interest going, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Go on then, I'll hit stop. If people have been watching on YouTube and you have any ideas, please do post them in community development. If you want to do something, you want to do a talk, you want to do anything, please do shout. And yeah, otherwise, I don't know, what do you say? Like, subscribe.
Like, subscribe.
Ding, ding,
Click
ding.
a bell.
Watch videos on YouTube.
Yeah, there we go. Good times. Right, bye.
Bye.